Hello, my name is Mark. I call myself the Retro Gaming Bard on my channel, Mr. Retro Gaming Bard. And so what we're seeing here is the video that I uploaded some days ago, a personal best run a speed run of MagMax on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And yeah, so I'm gonna be doing the breakdown and all that stuff because I honestly think this game is easy for first timers to speed run. Sure, there's gonna be some rounds that you gotta, not die and all that kind of stuff. But I'm rambling, so I'll tell you what. There's some stuff I want to say first, but if you want to skip to like the actual start of the breakdown, I'll put a timestamp right now. Okay. So first things first. On the screen, what you're seeing is the live split over here. And I also have NoHo as an NOH board. And you got, I'll be using the directionals, the period, and the comma buttons for the action keys, and the backslash key to start or do the splits of the live split. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the at the very beginning, you'll see the shift button being pressed when it comes to selecting the first player and second player. I will be pausing this video at times, but for now, double mouse cursor action. Yeah, I'll be using this mouse cursor to point out some things. And yeah, let's have some fun with this. Okay, so at the very beginning of the game, yes, there's gonna be some weird graphical glitches and happening. I think it's because of the emulator. I have no idea why it does that. So yeah, it only happens at the very beginning of the game. My apologies there. So let's move on. So starts off with some stationary obstacles. I pay really no attention to it. Based off memorization, I knew where that first enemy is located. Got the part, building up my MagMax. Now if you shoot these things about 10 times, you gain parts. However, to earn the legs, you gotta find them. You really can't do that trick to gain legs. And here's your first mobile string of enemies. I really do not know if they spawn randomly or not. I haven't really done the research on that. And over here we got the hull warp, that gray thing that went by. And as we got more gray things going by, okay, I'll just explain it when it shows up again. But for now, just blasting away, moving, dodging, weaving. Don't worry, there's a strategy for certain enemies, which I'll pause. Now, okay, so this gray thing, yeah, this is a warp hull. That's gonna teleport you to the underground level. However, for speedrunning, it's a really bad strat because the scrolling speed is much, much slower. And what I'm trying to do over here, I'm not sure if I succeeded or not, I don't remember. I did. I don't know how I exactly pulled that off, but there's a trick that this very powerful item comes into play. You gun it down and it's like a kill screen. It destroys all the enemies on the screen. Again, I don't quite know how I pull it off. I've learned from another speedrunner that that's the thing. So I figure I'll probably figure out after this recording, but for the sake of explanations, yeah, that's the thing. How it's done exactly, I do not know. I'm sorry. Okay, so moving on. I just let it slide and boom, yeah, you get more points that way. And there's the legs. Okay, so again, just bobbing and weaving. Do what you typically do with auto scrollers. And yeah, so these guys, the biggest trick with them, oh man, look at all these graphical errors. I'm so sorry. But with these guys, ideally you just want to walk straight and blast. Don't try to get all of them because they do retaliate and make your life harder. Just stay in one place and keep blasting. That's it, really. Just and there's gonna be other enemies coming up that do the same tactics, and it'll be just fine. And not even 2 minutes in, we're in the desert. So new enemies, but you know, they're all stationary. And yeah, I did that trick again. Again, I don't know how I did it, but that's a thing. Awesome megs, getting some megs, no worries. The game is, I like to say, kind of generous with the parts. If you make dumb mistakes like that, no worries. And as you can see, without me over-explaining, there are some certain other enemies that you can recognize their patterns. Again, with these guys, I'm just chilling. And right there, I forgot that they don't actually wait till the end of the screen to turn. So that's a learning lesson. Doesn't matter. I remember that there's this part and that part. Got almost back to back. Now what just happened, if you don't mind me scrolling back a bit, I'll just rewind. I'll play that again, because when you do gain a part, you do have some invincibility frames. Like, that should have been a hit, but because I'm grabbing that beam gun, doesn't count due to the invincibility frames. And that's gonna happen a few times throughout this run. And yep, nothing too exciting because it's all, you know, auto-scrolling. These guys just chill. Now, at this point, I remember which kind of enemies comes out afterwards, and it's these guys. Usually if you stand over here, you can get them all, but one got away from me. Cost me my legs. And at this point, I realized there's no way I'm going to get some legs back before the first mini boss. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's keep on going. And there's the moment of truth. Now, ideally, you want your legs for this fight because you gain more hit points, and when you lose your legs, you still have that beam. This beam is key. However, this happened, which kind of blows my mind. Just like that. So if I backtrack a bit, sorry, gotta go through all this again. I'm gonna try to pause it right when the kill happened. Boop. Okay. Look at the score. Yeah. Bam, right there. So that's the time split of the first half. And it makes me wonder if the legs are really needed or not. That's something I'm currently investigating for like strats. But as of now, let's just chill. Even if you don't have the beam gun at this point, if you just stay in one spot and keep blasting, you'll be fine. And yeah, it's just the same guys. I'm just chilling. Now these things, just like the previous obstacles, you keep blasting them and you gain a part, but this is a prime example that you can't get legs. So I guess I'm just having fun trying to get a high score at this point, which is not needed, but whatever. Get some different variations of the same enemies. Again, I don't know why I'm concentrating on a high score, because that happened. No worries, just got my parts back. And again, with the little help of the invincibility frames, didn't get hurt. I guess one thing to really point out next time, when I say the turns again, but right now, probably the hardest enemies to deal with are these things. Yeah, because they're small, they're very agile, and I'm sure there's a pattern, but sometimes, oh, that was wonderful, but sometimes I just can't dodge. What else can I say? But yeah, and there's a lot of these things in this level too, which is annoying. So these are turrets, even though they're underwater, you can still accidentally run over them, so just be aware of that. I don't think that happened to me in this run, but in other runs, it does. And yeah, and that was a prime example right there of invincibility frames at its best while getting the legs. And yeah, just more turrets. That was unfortunate, but it doesn't matter because now I know that the final area is coming up, and I think it's easier than the water area because of one particular enemy. These guys, yep, you just stay there and shoot. That's all you do. And there's quite a few of these guys. Now there's one group of enemies that can get challenging, which is these guys. But you can definitely memorize their circular patterns, and yet they try to scare you with 6 of them. But if you play this multiple times, you know what to expect. Not bad. Not a problem. And then you got these rare enemies that really don't do much. There's only 5 of them, if I remember correctly. Just destroyed one of them. There's a second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and that's it. That's all. That's the only time you've seen them. So moving on, at the final minute of the run, what does the game do? Bombard you with, well, these guys again. Again, if you memorize their circular pattern, then the game gives you a break with these things. Mind you, all 3 parts has gone by, so the game, I think the game is very generous on trying to keep you alive, I suppose. Definitely underwhelmed itself in the last section, and this blackout is a beautiful heads up that the final boss is here. So let's see how quickly I can destroy that. Now, mind you, I'm at this time already. Just like that. Let me rewind for the final blow. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, there we go. Bam. Just look at the score. 1 back. That big score, that's the kill screen. 7:34. So that whole fight took like 4 seconds, give or take. And of course it got me right at the very end. Doesn't matter. And yeah. And that is that. So the whole purpose of this video is really, you know, if you're new to speedrunning like I am, this is actually my very first game to speedrun. And actually, the very first game that I submitted to speedrun.com. And because years and years ago, I did dabble into speedrunning with Super Mario Bros. 3, but I didn't stick with it. But this is a nice short game to stick with. And I don't know, if you're interested in trying this game out to speedrun, go for it. I think there's 11 or 12 of us at this time. It would be nice to see some additional faces. I'm rambling. Thank you for watching, and I'll do some more videos on MagMax. If you're interested in that, please subscribe and leave a like, and see you next time.